Yes, lovely people. Hope you're well and welcome to the first show on the Sanderson Show of 2023. As always, delighted to be joined by the one, the only Luke Tanner. Obviously, we've said Happy New Year to each other, but on
Yeah.
stream, Happy New Year, bro.
Happy
How
New
you
Year
doing?
to you, my friend. Happy New Year.
Good. Luke, bro. I mean, MMA is always busy, but feels especially in the last 48 hours, it's been
48
bloody
hours.
busy. Jones
It
is
is.
back, and Nganou's gone.
Oh, no.
Strickland wins. London card is confirmed with the headline of headshot kill bang.
Yeah. It's been
Crazy.
mental because after everything that's been going on out with the Dana stuff, don't want to really touch on it. But
Yeah.
after that, you're thinking, like MMA, we're not going to see the big fights, and then literally go to bed, wake up, and thinking, what is going on?
Yeah.
Garnu's left. Jones is back. He's facing Cyril Gane. Dana coming out with some more rubbish saying that we gave Francis Lesnar money.
Well,
But you
apparently
didn't.
Jones. So Richard Schaefer's come out today saying that Jones is now the highest paid heavyweight of all time.
Yes, apparently, I think I saw he say that he was getting paid McGregor money. Considering that Jones has never been a big pay-per-view draw, I'm shocked he's got McGregor money.
Well, if you're paying for skill, then he gets it.
Yeah.
But Dana's never really paid for skill because Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson never really got paid the big money, did he? And let's be honest,
Exactly.
he didn't really get much more skillful than him. So it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, early predictions will obviously really chop up the Cyril Gane Jones fight. How are you feeling? Because I actually think Ngannou's maybe the more dangerous fight, but there's a clearer path to victory against Ngannou for Jones. What are you thinking? I think this is a harder fight for Jones to come back to.
It depends on how much he's bulked. It depends how much
He looks like he's
muscle he's
bulked a
put
lot,
on.
top half.
Because Cyril will probably be about 240, but he'll be an athletic 240. So, but we know that is a major weakness in Cyril's ground game. You saw in the Francis fight with Francis with no knees, the way he managed to control him on the ground. He looked for submission attempts. If Jones gets hold of him up close in the clinch and in the takedowns, then it like Jones, that for me, that's his clearest path to victory. We don't know how fresh he's going to be, even if he's motivated.
Yeah.
Because my prediction of him winning and dipping, that's looked like that. He probably won't happen now, considering he signed an 8-fight deal. But this will be the last 8 fights of his career because I don't see him stick around after those 8 fights. You know,
I don't think we're going to see 8 fights from him at all, bro. I think just because you signed an 8-year deal doesn't mean he's going to fight at the 8 fights. I don't think he will.
He'll do half. He'll probably do half, and it'll be like done.
I mean, with Ngannou not being there now, I wouldn't be surprised if he were to beat Cyril Gane, he defends it once or twice and then he dips.
I think he'll break Stipe's record at 3.
Stipe was what, 3, wasn't it? So
Yeah,
who did Stipe beat? Overeem, Dos Santos, and Ngannou.
Do you notice how as second as Francis is back, Stipe is like, I'll fight the winner in July.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Stipe said that he'll fight the winner in July.
No, I don't think Stipe should get that fight.
Because
I think Stipe should fight Curtis Blades.
Hey, that's a fight. That
I think he should have to fight Curtis Blades. His last fight was a loss. Like I think he should really get to. I think Curtis Blades deserves something. Bless him. Obviously, he had the fight Aspinall that ended horribly.
It wasn't really about.
No, it wasn't about. And Curtis Blades has been fighting the top contenders and beating the top contenders pretty much.
Like for me at heavyweight, like for Jones, that's him versus Blades is more intriguing for me.
Same.
Two high level wrestlers.
See, if I was a matchmaker, I'd have actually booked Jones and Blades as Jones' comeback fight.
It would have made perfect sense. Or Jones versus Stipe.
Yeah.
for me.
But
And
at the
like the
same
whole
time,
narrative that Francis dipped because he's scared of Jones, like, come on,
he's
this is the
nonsense.
baddest man on the planet.
It's not even that. No one in the heavyweight division, especially in the top 5, is scared of another top 5 fighter. Like this whole notion that people think that MMA fighters are scared of each other, they're not. Like
They just want to get
fight
paid
for a living. Exactly. They just want to get paid and they want a favorable deal. It's not rocket science. Like these guys fight for a living. You honestly think Garn or let's be real. You think Francis is sitting there saying, "I'm scared of Jones. I'm not taking this fight." I'm not saying Jones can't beat him. Jones could obviously beat Ngannou.
It's going to be
But he's not
interesting to
scared
see
of
what
it.
Francis does. I think I saw Bare Knuckle tweet
Yeah, they
out.
did. Yeah.
PFL tweet out. Obviously, they've got the Jake Paul super fight division.
I think Ngannou takes a couple of boxing matches.
I think the thing is, him versus Fury, that's not as hot now because I think people have cooled off on Tyson a bit, and I want to see an undisputed heavyweight bout, not a crossover fight with Ngannou. Maybe Ngannou versus Wilder will be fun, but
so this
I
is
don't
going
know
to
what he does because he could end up going back to the UFC with a tail between his legs because he's not made the money he's expected to do, and that's the biggest fear. Because if he came back to the UFC, not maximize his revenue, he's going to get bent over. Pause.
He is
in negotiations.
So here's the thing: I'm going to sound so contradictory, especially given the conversation we had just before we started this stream. I'd put him in a YouTube boxing match with someone with someone competent because he'll get paid very well.
Greg Hardy.
He'd get paid well. He'd get paid very well, and then that promotes him in boxing. Then he can maybe take on a top 10 heavyweight potentially beat that person, and then he can go for the Fury or
AJ versus Francis.
AJ versus France would be very fun. I can't lie.
Yeah,
and given that AJ hasn't got quote unquote the best chin in the heavyweight division, it could be a 50-50 fight.
I know, it's just Francis's technique though is absolutely wild. And plus, it'd be interesting to see how he comes back from knee surgery. Like double knee surgery. I got no idea.
Precisely.
Yeah, Francis versus Salt Pappy.
Boy, well, bro, we've got UFC 283, our first watch along of the year.
I know.
Hopefully it'll be the first of many. First on the, I mean, should we start? Let's start from the main event and work our way down.
Yeah.
Now, this wasn't originally meant to be for the championship. It was meant to be Ankalaev versus Blachowicz. The fight was given a draw. Dana White slated both fighters, which I thought was extremely
slated unfair. Both fighters, and plus he also dispelled another myth that he doesn't make fights after fights, which
fights on the night of
absolute rubbish.
The biggest myth, And I thought it was very unfair how they were treated, but it's Dana White. He kind of does what he wants. He's got free reign. And the fight they made on the same night is Glover Teixeira in Brazil versus Jamal Hill. And look, I'm just going to call it how it is. I'm a Jamal fan. He hasn't covered himself in glory over the last couple of weeks for some of the things he's been tweeting, but I'm still a fan.
Actually not.
No. He's been speaking about the Dana situation.
So he
hasn't necessarily covered himself in glory, but I'm a big fan. How are you seeing this fight go, bro?
It's so interesting, right? Because Glover in Brazil is what we should have had for him. It's exactly what he deserved and deserves. It's going to be so interesting because for Jamal, this is the perfect opportunity for him. Because I think, where is he ranked? He's ranked around 10. So he's in the...
Jamal? No, Jamal's in the top 5, I believe, or top 6.
No, I think he's around 7.
He's 7. Because his last win was what? Thiago Santos, right?
No, it was Johnny Walker knockout. He made Johnny Walker do the little...
I could have swore his last fight was Santos, bro. He stopped Santos.
Oh, just because the Johnny Walker one more viral.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see. But let's see how we go. Sorry about the cat. Thought
it's all right.
I want to say hello. But it'd be very interesting to see how he does under pressure, though, because It's in Brazil. It's Glover's home country. They're going to be wanting Glover to win at all costs. So how is he going to keep his head?
That's what he's going to be hearing.
Yeah. That's what he's going to be hearing throughout the whole arena. Plus, he did get humbled earlier on in his UFC career against Paul Craig, where he lost by submission. And for me, that's going to be his one thing to watch out for. Because if Glover gets him down, it's going to be good night. Because I just don't see how Glover does not submit him if it gets down to the ground. So but I know Jamal's got knockout power, and Glover, at the age of 42, is getting more hittable. But it depends how much that war with Yuri took out of him, because that was a war.
You took the words out of my mouth. I think if there was ever a time to fight Glover Teixeira, if you're Jamal Hill, it's now. Jamal's getting into his prime. Glover's out of his prime. Even though putting a hell of a fight of Yuri, he was getting pieced up in terms of getting hit a lot in that
30
fight.
Seconds away from winning.
I know, which is crazy. But he was getting hit a lot. Yeah. Jamal's power and accuracy is a big problem. But I don't know if he's that durable on the ground. That being said, Anthony Smith's been training with Jamal and says that he surprised him a lot with his wrestling and his ground game and how quickly he's able to pop back up when he gets down. But that's a training session as opposed to what it's like in the real thing. You're right. Yeah. The pressure, is it going to make a diamond? Is it going to break the pipe? It's going to be very difficult to know what's going to happen in this fight until we see how Jamal looks before the fight and in the first round.
Or could the occasion get to Glover because it's his homecoming?
Very true.
His homecoming. I don't know if he's got much left in the tank. I don't know. He could win it and go, I'm done.
He could.
It's one thing, annoy Dana to the high heaven because there's another vacant title.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious, by the way.
I mean, if that were to happen, then I think Anthony Smith would fight whoever he fights and it'd be for the vacant.
Be him versus Jan or him versus Ankalaev, depends who's not.
Or we're speaking about another fight. It could be him versus Paul Craig or Johnny Walker.
Yeah, hey, that's a good shout. That light heavyweight division, ever since Jones has left, it's called the hot potato division for a reason. There's no one, maybe apart from Yuri, that you can go saying, yeah, they're going to grab hold of that belt and they're not letting that belt go.
Ryan Span's another person as well. I think you're starting to see some new people. So it's fresh blood, so they've got to establish themselves now.
It's what that division has needed for a while. Yeah.
Well, if you look at it, that was the glamour division for such a long time. Rashad Evans, Forrest, and Stephen Bonner, rest his soul. Rashad Evans,
Machida,
Jones, Rua, like
Machida,
like bloody hell, like Rampage, Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Shamrock. Like that's always been the glamour division. So it's weird. DC,
Prime,
another RIP, Anthony Rumble Johnson. Like that has been the glamour division. So very interesting. But who have you got, bro?
I've got Glover by submission. For me. I'll say in the championship rounds. I'll go round 4 submission.
I've got Jamal inside 2 rounds. KO.
So hope you're wrong.
To be honest, I don't actually mind who wins this fight. I like both guys.
I just want a good fight so Dana doesn't slate them afterwards.
Yeah, same. As long as we get a good fight or an entertaining fight, I'm good. I don't really have a horse in this race, to be honest.
Look who's in the chat.
Mr. Chris Brack. Shout out to Ensman TV. I see. Keep it level. I will answer a couple of clock questions at the end. Luke's a Liverpool fan as well, so he knows the pain that we're in at the minute. Shout out to Mtar Mizzy, Franklin, MP, Tom, John Conway, Adam, LFCJ. Shout out to you all. Please don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't already. Right. We're just speaking about a man who's never had a title shot in Jamal Hill and a man who is enjoying the best period of his career in the twilight years.
The Indian summer.
Yeah. Now we're talking about 2 fighters who will be fighting each other for an unprecedented 4th time. And I'll be honest, Luke, I'm not even mad. I got a wild shot before we get into it.
Yeah.
I think they'll fight 5 times before their career is over.
Oh, that is mad. That's
I don't think
mad.
this is the last time we see them fight.
I have a feeling that you're right because they are the 2 best in the division. And plus, there is an extra wrinkle for this in my eyes, and it's the James Krause effect. Because Brandon Moreno
And the Cejudo effect.
and the Triple C effect. Well, I don't think he's
not. That's my point.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting because I think I saw a thing that Figueiredo said he wouldn't jump up to bantamweight because of his friend Triple C. I'm thinking, if they charge you enough money, you'd fight. Let's keep it real. So yeah, with the James Krause thing, like it's unfolding day by day, but how deep it goes, and the fact that he's had to move camp.
That's wild.
Before this fight, like I don't know how much like that disruption to move camp in the middle of preparing for a massive title fight in Brazil as well. It's not like he's fighting in Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not that's gonna, just if he's not gonna be completely focused, because that's hanging over everyone that's even associated with James Krause, associated with the gym, fighters that have been let go from the UFC, like Jeff Molina.
It's wild what's happened with that.
Is it Darren Elkins?
Yeah.
No, Derek Minner. Derek Minner got let go based on the fight. It's
actually wild what's happened with James Krause.
It's absolutely mental. I think we listened to Mortal Kombat on it. Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell, that whole situation, and I can't even wrap my brains around it.
Crazy.
Like a guy that was cushy in his job, one of the best up and coming coaches in the game.
Oh yeah, definitely
respected. Even had it was part of the UFC furniture.
Yeah,
and when you're part of the UFC furniture, you get treated well.
Yeah, and you'd have done something right to get there.
Yeah, and the fact that he's done this, you don't know how deep it goes. Like he's going to jail. His career is ruined. They are going to chuck a book at him.
Yeah, they will. They'll make an example out of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be a bit of a dark cloud heading over this bout, because if it ends quickly, everyone's going to be saying because of the Krause, because of the whole thing with moving camps. That's why, and then that's where we'll run it back for a 5th. And then maybe
he has been preparing with his normal boxing coach and his normal jiu-jitsu coach, if I'm not mistaken. But Krause was kind of the overseer. He was the one who'd come up with the strategy, the plan, and try to implement that. Obviously, you got your coaches still, but it is a big loss. But is it not just a bigger loss for Figueiredo not having Cejudo? I mean, Figueiredo in his last fight against Moreno is the most strategic and poise he's shown in his career. Usually he's a gung-ho fighter. He was fighting sometimes off the back foot, sometimes off the front foot. He really stifled Brandon Moreno in a couple of those rounds and scored some key knockdowns. Do you think we're not reading enough into the fact that he might be suffering from not having Cejudo?
Yeah, absolutely. People on the outside look at Triple C as triple cringe, the cringiest fighter in the game. But there's a reason why the top fighters go to him for training.
It's crazy, isn't it?
He is one of the best in the business. He's probably one of the best combat sports athletes of all time. Olympic gold medalist, 2 division weight champion. Maybe if he comes back and wins bantamweight gold, maybe he might become quadruple C. Maybe fights at featherweight. So the fact that he's got that brain, that he can help implement other fighters. Look at the way Zhang Weili, look at her game, massively improved, known as a power striker, and then submits a wrestler like Carla Esparza to win the belt in ease. Shows the mind that Triple C has, and I think that is going to be a massive loss.
Yeah,
and I do believe that may play an effect in Brazil, where Figueiredo may go a little bit gung-ho because it's in Brazil, the home crowd, hyping him up, and that could leave holes in his game for Moreno. So it's such an interesting about this.
Who have you got then, bro? Or do you want me to go first this time, seeing as you went first?
I'll let you go first so I can go the opposite.
This is the one I keep on going 50-50 with. I think I'm gonna go no. I think I'm gonna go Figueiredo split decision, and I think we see them fight again in a couple years' time.
I am gonna go Moreno by decision.
In Brazil.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point. It's Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah, go Figueiredo by decision. If any Brazilian fighter goes to decision and it's close, they're getting the nod.
Yeah,
hands down.
We've seen it a few times.
Oh yeah, we've seen it in London. We've literally seen it in London. Like it goes to a decision, you get the result.
Facts.
And if you've got the special Dana privilege, you know you're getting the result, hands down.
Oh well, that goes without saying. The next fight, I mean, for me, this is one of the easier fights to predict on the card. Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny.
Sorry, Neil.
This is a layup for Gilbert, really, isn't it? No disrespect to Neil Magny. It feels like a bit of a layup. Like,
I feel so sorry for Gilbert because
what's Magny struggled against his career? Grapplers who can devastate his legs with kicks.
Look what happened in the Shavkat fight.
He's literally thrown into the lion's den. Look, I've got so much respect and admiration for Neil Magny because he never really gets the plaudits and the credit he deserves. This guy gets thrown to the lion's den every single time.
He's got the most wins at welterweight.
But when was the last time he had a fight where you look and go, they've given Neil a decent one this time? Ponzinibbio when he was at his peak, Neil Magny. Shavkat, Neil Magny. Like, the only person I haven't given him I'm surprised of is Hamza. RDA, Magny.
I think
Hector Lombard,
Magny. I think that actually there was a clip of Magny and Hamza training in Sweden. Yeah, good thing we're never seeing that in the cage because Hamza mauled him, and that was just in training. So,
Hamza's no joke, man.
I feel sorry for Neil and I feel sorry for Gilbert because this was supposed to be Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah,
like this was the fight. Like we were discussing about Colby. Don't know what's going on with the court case. Don't know what's going on with that. And plus for Jorge's brand, you're going to put him with Gilbert when he's probably going to take another L. 4 losses in a row.
I mean, the only reason this fight didn't happen apparently is because Masvidal said he wasn't physically ready. Not that he didn't want the fight. Me personally, I mean, we've got a little theory between us on what Masvidal might do next, and maybe that's a different video title, but I don't think this would have been a good fight for Masvidal personally.
No, it's not good for his brand. 4 losses on the road when a certain Mystic Mac is due to come. Sorry about this. Like my dog's gonna get my back,
bro, you're speaking to someone who's got kids on camera some of the times, bro. Like, it is what it is, bro. You know how it goes. I know how it goes.
Stop scaring the cat dog. So I think if Masvidal wants that McGregor money, the big payday, he's probably keeping himself nice and warm.
Yeah.
Until there's an inkling that McGregor's coming back. And with him, there's still no even thought about when he's coming back. So
I reckon international fight week at the earliest for McGregor.
Oh yeah. I've said that for a while because there's no way he's getting out the USADA test for 6 months. There is no way he's getting.
I'll be honest, I don't think he fights the main event either.
But McGregor not at the main event.
I think he does a 3-round fight to ease back in.
It'll be a 3-round main event because it's Dana.
It'll be interesting. I was going to ask who have you got? We both got Burns, right?
Burns by knockout.
I got Burns by submission in the 2nd round.
You know how Burns knocked out Damian Maia? I can just see that overhand right. Boom. Done.
Yeah. He's so quick as well. So strong for the weight. Here's a sleeper fight, in my opinion. A fight that's really gone under the radar, but could have massive implications on the division. Lauren Murphy versus Jessica Andrade. Andrade back at 125.
Probably at most natural weight.
I mean, she's done all 3 weight divisions, hasn't she? Which is actually crazy when you think of it.
Yeah.
Because she's not small. Like, she's short, but she's not small. So for her to do all of these different weights, I have to rate it.
It's just a shame that she's never going to hold belt in the other 2.
115, no.
No,
I don't think she
125,
will.
135. I don't think she wins the belt at 15
Oh, yeah,
again.
sorry, yeah, 115, she won't win it again. 125,
She got
apart from,
absolutely mauled.
yeah,
Like,
apart from Santos, I don't think anyone beat Shevchenko, and then 35, Amanda would absolutely destroy her, I think. Speaking of
yeah.
Amanda, we thought we'd see her on this card as well, but we didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's happening with her. I don't know if not she's going to get new Pena 3, which I don't want to see. I don't want to see. There's one fight for her, but I don't know whether or not that's going to happen. We're going to probably Shevchenko trilogy. But with this one, Lauren Murphy beat Misha Tate last time out. Because Misha Tate thought that she was going to drop down a weight and beat the number 1 contender at the time with ease, and thinking that she was going to get a title shot because she didn't want to fight her mate Pena at 35.
Yeah.
There's a reason why that you've been out the game for 5 years, because Lauren looked crisp against Misha. Misha looked completely out of sorts. That was a mismatch.
Completely off. Yeah,
that was a mismatch of a fight.
Yeah,
I was shocked at.
It's a shame. I know Imran, who's usually in the chat, is a big fan of Misha Tate, but she just didn't seem right. Her timer was off. She just did not seem right.
Yeah, I think that she's got one fight in her, and I think she retires. I think because she ain't going for gold. Like I don't see where she goes for gold. And with the 25 division, like these are 2 women that have both been beaten by Shevchenko. One, I think they both got finished by her.
Yeah,
I think Murphy got finished by her. Yeah, they both got finished in fairly convincing fashions. Unless either of them pull out a big statement, I don't see them getting any closer to a title shot. Personally,
I personally think Andrade is going to win. I think she's going to win by stoppage, and I think she may get a title shot. Because if I'm not mistaken, Santos is fighting Blanchfield, right?
Which made no sense.
I don't understand why Santos didn't go straight in for the rematch.
I thought it was going to be Santos versus Shevchenko on this card. That was what I was seeing, but nothing was really confirmed. But that would have made sense. Santos, Shevchenko 2 in Brazil.
Yeah.
Well, because who wants to see Shevchenko go for rematches against Murphy and Andrade? Not me.
Yeah, not when the match. I'll be honest with you. I know it's highly controversial.
What, that Shevchenko beats Amanda at 35?
No, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Shevchenko fight
Weili. I think that's more realistic because they've both spoken about it.
I wouldn't be surprised. This is my wild card here. Valentina might try and make 115.
No way.
I think she can make the weight if she wants to.
I think she can, because I think she walks around at about 130 because she always says that she has to pack on muscle.
Yeah, she was underweight for the 35 division. I think she fights Weili at 115, tries to capture that belt, gives herself a bit of time to recuperate and bulk up again. Amanda will get a bit older. She'll have another fight with Pena, in my opinion, which will be a tough fight.
She would be triple champ.
She'd be triple champ.
The triple champ that ever she wants.
And that will give time to the 25 division to build up a couple of fighters and do an interim belt for when Valentina's finished with 35. I think she, if she wants to, will become the first triple crown champion. And I think she could hold them all simultaneously. She won't defend 115, but I think she'll hold it simultaneously.
Wow.
And she'll hold all the belts like Rick Rude used to do back in the day. 3 on the hip.
You could see that, but I think with the Weili one, I think they're talking about 125 jumping up.
Makes sense as well.
Seems a bit of a mismatch for her to jump up.
Who isn't, apart from Nunes and what we saw from Santos, everyone else is a mismatch for Valentina.
Yeah, hopefully there is some young blood coming in at 25. Blanchfield, Casey O'Neill, who's due to come back from injury. I think she's going to be fighting at UFC London.
Hope so.
She's
Very
trying to. There's
excited.
plenty of like Manon, the French girl, Alexa Grasso. So lots of young blood coming in that division, but Valentina's in her prime. She's just arguably the best woman fighter on the planet. For me, she is probably at the moment the best women's fighter in the planet, and I'm a massive Nunez fan.
Agreed.
At the moment, she is focused, switched on. Anyway, back to Shevchenko.
Yeah. So I've got Andrade. Do you think Lauren Murphy could pull up? I think would be an upset in Brazil.
I think she's got good feet. Like her striking on her feet is crisp. I like her footwork, but I just think Andrade's just got that power. So I'm going to go Andrade by knockout. I've got all Brazilians.
So that kind of spoils it for the last one. Johnny Walker versus our own Scottish Paul Craig.
Well, this is where I'm probably going to differ.
I'll go on because I've got Craig.
I've got Craig. I'm going to differ from my Brazilian picks.
Yeah,
because I think that
I think
I like Johnny Walker. Striking. I'm still not sure about his move to the McGregor's gym in Ireland. That move's not worked for me. For him, I think he's going to be staying there permanently. I think he got married to an Irish girl, so he's Ireland's his home now.
Yeah,
but it's not been a great fit for him, to be honest. Ever since like McGregor
suffered in his last fight, to be fair, by rear naked against Kutalaba.
Oh yeah, but that was.
I think we watched that one.
We watched that one
we did a watch.
We were both at home. Oh no! Yes, it was a watch along. I thought it was a fight.
I think we did do a watch along.
Oh, because I saw Kutalaba get knocked out by
Shad Chris Brack. He says Paul Craig, who will win after taking 300 punches to the face, then submits him.
Yeah,
again, maybe a bit of a wild take. I think Paul Craig's going to give him problems on the feet because I don't think Johnny Walker's going to be expecting it. He's going to be expecting the takedown all the time.
Yeah, and I don't know what mood he's going to be in, really. Like, it's Brazil. He's going to do a wacky dance, going to have a wacky ceremonial, but I'm just not too sure about his game.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm just not sure about his game. Like, he's in his prime, like he's 30. I just can't. I don't see where he goes next if he loses, because he'll just be like a fun fighter. He'll win some, he'll lose some. He'll never be champ. Because remember when he came in, the hype around him, like, this is the guy that's going to beat John Jones.
Yeah, everyone did.
By Corey Anderson, and it was like, nope.
Corey completely derailed the hype train.
Yeah, completely derailed.
Completely. Saying that, Johnny kind of did that to himself when he celebrated and did his
busted his shoulder. That apparently he still has issues with his shoulder today.
Yeah.
So what an absolute numpty. But for me, it's Paul Craig. Paul Craig by submission. I think Paul Craig's going to make a bit of a statement because I was disappointed in his UFC London performance.
Yeah, Uzumir, that was a big letdown.
I thought it was so, like, it was not like the first London card. He's trying to be like fancy, and I'm like, no, stick to what you're good at.
Yeah, do what you do.
Stick to what you're good at. And there is an opening. Maybe he may get a title shot this year, possibly.
I'm saying, if the cards fall right for him, I think we could see Paul Craig in a title fight before the end of the year.
But not he wins it is a different thing, but
I'd like to see it. I'd be happy.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, but I've got Paul Craig by submission.
I've got Paul Craig by sub as well.
Probably got first round sub.
So do I actually. I actually do. I think he gets hold of Johnny Walker quick. I think he hurts him with strikes and then he jumps on him and then either chokes him out or takes a limb home with him.
Takes a limb back to Scotland.
I think he does.
I'm leaving here with something.
I'm from around the way. Leave me here, son. People, thank you so much for joining me and Luke. As always, guys, make sure you go and head over to Luke's channel. We'll also be doing a preview on his channel with a little bit of a twist as well. So make sure you head over there, but also make sure you subscribe to Luke's channel. There's no point growing this channel if we're not growing Luke's channel, because Luke is the brains behind this channel. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be doing this channel. So shout out to Luke as always. Nothing but love for you, bro. It's just the facts, bro. It's just the facts. Got a shout out to everyone in the chat
sure
as well.
You guys are back here
Saturday
morning, 3 a.m. baby.
Saturday morning, watch along, watch
Sunday
along
morning.
City.
It's
First
Sunday
one of
morning,
2023.
baby.
Yes, Sunday morning. You're right. Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday morning. Make sure you're back, guys. Also, make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like the video as well. And yes, until we see you on the early. In fact, no. Before I go, literally spend 1 minute on this. I have seen Klopp's comments from the embargo section. Again, I've got to believe it. I've got to see it to believe it, should I say. I don't know. I've also seen a rumor that Milner might get another 12 years extension. At the moment, with Liverpool, it just seems like a cluster F at the moment. So
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
And you know what? Shout out to Chris Brack as well, who came on and said he's the brains behind both channels. Always humble. Shout out to the LFC Day Trippers. But people, till we see you next time, take care, and we'll see you on Sunday morning for some live action fun. Let's go, people. Take care.